My buddy Andrew is in desperate need of some better storage in his shop, and he's getting his miter station off the ground. So we're going to work on that, and I'm going to have plans on my website if you're interested. First up is finishing the base that Andrew prepared. Having the separate base is easier to level, and it's also going to simplify cabinet construction because the toe kick is basically built in. Handling full-size sheets of 3/4 inch plywood at the table saw is really sketchy, so we break them down lengthwise with the track saw first, then Andrew can rip them to final length on the table saw inside. And of course then we come back outside for the cross-cutting with the track saw because he clearly doesn't have a miter station. We're both used to working alone, so we're super surprised by how much we were able to get done in just a few hours. Everything's cut to size. That'd normally take me a day to do. That's a clip showing the boxes laid out and organized before we start putting them together. The cabinet boxes, and then these are all the drawer parts before we put them together. Shouldn't be any surprise that we're going to use pocket holes and pocket screws to put this together. It's really fast and plenty strong for this kind of shop furniture or just cabinets in general. Anyway, after I finished getting some cool shots of Andrew drilling the holes, I jumped in and we knocked it out fast. And it was the same thing for putting the cabinet boxes together. If it wasn't for Andrew's wife going, "Hey, don't you guys need to record some of that?" I probably would have missed getting any footage. It's crazy how much faster having an extra set of hands just to hold pieces so you don't have to clamp everything speeds things up.
Nothing like the shop with those missing battens.
You could redo your shop.
All right, now it's time to start bringing the boxes in and securing them, but as we do that, we noticed that we forgot to do some of the pocket holes to attach the boxes to the base, so those get drilled in place. And for now, the boxes are just going to be pocket screwed to the base and screwed to each other. We'll tie them to the wall later when the top goes on. Probably the trickiest part of actually getting the cabinets installed was starting the second row and trying to keep them lined up with the first row. There's probably a better way to do this than to just keep measuring and measuring, but we're furniture makers, not cabinet makers, and there's plenty of proof of that in this project.
I was reading about it and guys were like, "Yeah, you know, I keep mine at 36. And one guy was like, "Why do y'all have it low? If you're like, are you guys all like 5'6", which is perfectly cool?" No.
I wish I was 5'6".
213 and 5/16. Or within a 16th.
A 16th.
A 16th of an inch.
Oh geez, 213, 5/16.
Yeah, it was even closer. If it looks square, it is square, right?
Okay, so just realized that we haven't mounted the 2x4 against the wall that we're going to mount the countertop to tie everything to the wall and make it really rigid. That kind of works out though, because we can actually use the boxes themselves to level this to make sure all these things are level together, so works out. Andrew wanted this open cubby design above his countertop to make it harder to hide his hoarding problem, but he didn't want it to encroach on the countertop space too much, so we designed these cutouts in the verticals. And like this whole project, this is just going to get pocket screwed together and then pocket screwed to the base, and L brackets will go on top to tie it to the wall. And now we're ready to start building all the drawers, which we're going to keep really simple. We're just building these with glue and brad nails. I've used this design for shop drawers a lot, and they're plenty strong. We did have one really odd drawer, which is the vertical lumber storage one we came up with. Now, if you get the plans and you try to make this, don't sweat about the specific measurements, where all the dividers are supposed to be. We just lined up the dividers, got them vertical and square, and then wherever they hit on that angle is where they ended up. And then I headed home for the day, and Andrew got to his homework. Okay, day 3, Andrew did some work while I was gone. I'm gonna do some B-roll on how the drawers work and then work on some drawers. Most of the drawers are just gonna be on wooden runners, but for the drawers that are gonna have more weight, we use ball bearing slides. Just to kind of class things up, we're gonna trim all the plywood edging with walnut and some of the tray fronts with walnut. Now, where the pieces aren't long enough, we're gonna cut them at a 45 like you would do trim in a house to help hide that joint, and then we can move on to getting all the drawer fronts on. One of the things that makes a miter station really handy and useful is having a stop block for repeatability. So we use the track saw to cut out the groove to drop some T-track into for that. And one of our ideas for making the station even more useful for Andrew was incorporating a router lift because he doesn't have a router table yet. We're going to use the Rockler Pro Lift and fence that they were nice enough to send out for this project. Of course, it wouldn't be a miter station if we didn't actually have a place to put the miter saw, so we're going to get this set at the right height. Of course, before finish goes on anything, I'm going to pop the grain with some water, and everything will get a quick 220 sanding with the Mirka. And lastly, everything gets sprayed down with 3 coats of Total Boats Amber Halcyon. I really like it because it dries so fast. We're able to do all 3 coats in a few hours. Plus, it's really durable, and I like the warmth that it brings while still being water-based. Anyway, it's all done. We finished this a few months ago actually, and Andrew has been really enjoying it. If you're interested in building this or something similar, I do have plans available. There will be a link below. I hope you learned something, were inspired, or at least entertained. And until next time, make time to make something.
Is that your ride right there?
Yeah.
Is that you? Thanks for the help, Caleb. All right, see you later.